What's good, y'all? It's your boy HB, final round. Got a little film study. We got Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, second fight. Let's get into it. Notice how Tyson Fury jumps out to the center of the ring immediately. He's taking a completely different approach from the first fight. He's going to put pressure. Nice parry by Tyson Fury. Parries the jab to the body from Deontay Wilder. And look at this. Tyson Fury feinting. Constantly feinting, throwing jab to the body. He's 6'7", 300 pounds, and he's feinting and throwing jabs to the body against a smaller guy. I mean, come on, you guys. This is fucking crazy. Crazy for a heavyweight to do. There's lightweights that don't even throw feints as consistently as Tyson Fury. And you know what those feints do is they keep your opponent off balance. You know, you can analyze how they're gonna respond to your attack. Are they going to back up? Are they going to sit there? Are they going to try to launch an attack at you? So right now, Tyson Fury's analyzing Deontay Wilder, seeing how he's going to deal with him as the fight goes on. And you see Deontay Wilder throws his iconic 1-2, and Fury makes a huge adjustment from the first fight, and I'll get into that after the round. I don't want to lose sight of what we're doing here. Nice right hook by Tyson Fury as Deontay Wilder pivots out to the left. That's the beauty of pressure fighting. You can kind of walk your opponent into punches. Tyson Fury being patient, throwing feints. Nice, steps out of range to avoid the jab. Deontay Wilder in the corner. Let's see what happens here. Beautiful. Nice right hand by Tyson Fury. Follows up, shifts his stance from orthodox to southpaw to follow up with punches. Brilliant. And this is very exhausting for Deontay Wilder. He's not used to fighting off the back foot. And when you're not used to fighting off the back foot, you're going to get tired really quickly. Good jab by Tyson Fury, good stiff jab. You need a good stiff jab if you're going to put pressure on an opponent. You can't just flick your jab out there all the time. It's a nice way to kind of control your opponent, find the distance. And that's one thing Tyson Fury is doing a great job of, establishing his jab. If you don't have a jab and you don't establish it, you're fighting blind. And that's what Deontay Wilder's doing right now. He's fighting blind. He's not going to understand the distance or the timing. Nice feint by Tyson Fury, keeping Deontay Wilder guessing when he's coming in. Fury being very patient, respecting Deontay Wilder's power. And I like how he's pawing that lead hand from Deontay Wilder, disrupting his rhythm. Good lead left hook and sloppy technique by Wilder. But I did like that right hand to the body by Wilder. But you can see Tyson Fury wants to get back, wants to tag him back. Oh, what a jab. See what Wilder does here to get off the ropes. You can see he's very uncomfortable. And, you know, Wilder, you know, I like that he came out trying to throw the jab to the body, and then he threw a right cross to the body. He's going to need to do that in his next fight if he wants to survive. But there's no substance behind what he's doing. There's no game plan. There's not like a bigger picture for him, so it's kind of meaningless. But one of the things I want to talk about is how Tyson Fury kind of adjusted to the right hand of Deontay Wilder in this second fight. You know, instead of in the first fight how he would kind of duck down and try to duck under the right hand, this fight he's pulling back, fencing with his hands, and rolling his head, rolling with the punch when Wilder throws it, which takes a lot of the sting off it. You know, and he's able to do that because he's putting pressure. He has lots of real estate behind him, and so he can pull out of range and he has room to work with, as opposed to the first fight to where he was fighting off the back foot. He would get trapped in the corner on the ropes. He would have no real estate behind him, and all he could do was duck under that right hand, and all Deontay Wilder had to do was come straight down the pipe, boom, boom. Great adjustment by Tyson Fury. It's okay to duck under that right hand, but you can't constantly do it to where your opponent will key onto it. And Wilder going back to the jab with the body. Through a hook, you don't see him do that too much. Another jab to the body, good. Let's see how Fury adjusts. And Fury matches him. That's what a great boxer does. He always matches your body attack. And this is not how Deontay Wilder likes to fight, you know. He doesn't like the thinking there. He just likes to let his hands go. Once again, Fury gets clipped with the right hand, but he pulls back and he rolls with it. Taking away his best asset. Now what's left? Nothing. And, it almost looks like, Fury pretty much drowned Deontay Wilder in this fight. That's what he did. He brought him to deep waters and he drowned him. And you can see it just by the way he punches sometimes. It's almost like he's swimming and he's drowning. Or he's trying to swim, but he can't. Just very sloppy technique. Good jab to the body. But once again, there's no substance behind that. He's not setting anything up. He's just doing it just to do it. Fury still cutting off the ring, feinting his way in, being patient, still has respect for Deontay Wilder. Nice, once again, like I said, he fences with both hands and pulls out of range. Good lead hook by Tyson Fury. And look at this dirty boxing. And I don't mean dirty by cheating, but, Fury gets in the clinch. He puts all his body weight on Deontay Wilder, even gets him in a little headlock. Every time Deontay Wilder wants to duck down and get in the clinch, take that with you. Take all these Twinkie and ho-hos that he's been eating, all the beer he's been drinking. He might as well be squatting 300 pounds, each round. And you think it was the bodysuit that made this man tired? You're crazy. It's called pressure fighting. It's called fighting a bigger man who's 6'7", 300 pounds, and he's leaning on you. And he's not letting you breathe. He's suffocating you. He's dragging you to the deep water. Beautiful right hand by Tyson Fury. Backs Deontay Wilder up to the ropes. Wilder doesn't know how to fight off the back foot. He doesn't know how to maneuver out of those positions, so he pretty much got lined up, and Tyson Fury took advantage of his center line and threw the right hand. And Deontay Wilder's very uncomfortable. He's trying to get some respect, so he's desperately throwing punches, and he's missing. Furthermore, making him exponentially tired. And then on top of that, at the end of the round, Tyson Fury clinches Deontay Wilder, shoves him to the corner, throws all his weight on him, saying, hey, take that with you back to the corner. Take all this 300 pounds with you. Oh, there goes the spike water, you guys. That's what did it, right? It's his trainer who screwed him over, right? Come on, man. This dude got his ass whooped. He got outboxed. Deal with it, you guys. I know you're big fans of him, but deal with it. He got outboxed. Own up to it, take responsibility, and get back to the drawing board and try to win the third fight. All right, let's check it out. And, I'll say this. I can't stand Deontay Wilder's stance. He just looks so off balance at times. And you wonder why he got smashed. The fundamentals are not there. And beautiful up jab by Tyson Fury. He throws that jab in so many different ways, so many different variations. And that's so important because it just throws you off your game. You can never get his timing down. Beautiful. Doubles up with the lead hand and throws the right hand. And sometimes you guys talk about this open palm or something with Fury's lead hand. Sometimes he's just trying to gain control of his opponent. He tries to control him by keeping his lead hand on you. Kind of gauging where you at. Mayweather does the same thing. I don't hear people complaining about that. Controlling your opponent in boxing is very important. But it's a subtle skill you have to learn how to master. It's not about just clenching your fist all the time and throwing bombs. Deontay Wilder on the ropes gets hit with a right hand. Once again, he doesn't know how to maneuver his way out of corners and ropes. This is not what he's accustomed to. And nice by Tyson Fury, putting Deontay Wilder in a little headlock, making him carry all his body weight. And he's done, you guys. He's done. This fight is over. Obviously, we know that because we've seen it. But, I mean, at this point, it's essentially over. There's nothing Deontay Wilder can do to win this fight. There's no chance. There's not even a lucky chance of him getting a lucky punch. It's over. He's drowning. He's suffocating. But I will give him credit. He fought. He fought until that towel got thrown in. And I give him props for that. And, you know, once again, you know, Mayweather does the same thing when he gets in a clinch. When a guy tries to duck under him and he gets in a clinch, he'll put his elbow, his forearm on the back of your neck, you know, punishing you for going down there. You know, and that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to punish your opponent at every aspect of the game. Make him uncomfortable. Beautiful left hook, right hand, floors Deontay Wilder. And you know, once again, I hear all this bullshit that was a rabid punch. Dude, he positioned himself to get hit on the side of his head. Or if you want to call it the back, fine, call it the back. But that was on him. Tyson Fury throws the lead hook, corrals Deontay Wilder into the right hand. It was beautiful. And that right there might as well be a knockdown. I understand it wasn't a knockdown, but the fact that a heavyweight trips or falls to the ground and he has to get back up when he's tired like that, might as well be a knockdown, because it's very exhausting to get up off the canvas after a trip or just getting thrown down, period. I mean, this is why you need the fundamentals. This is why you need some sort of skill set and technique, and you can't just rely on talent and power, because you're going to end up in a situation where you fight a motherfucker who's not scared of you and they know what they're doing. Yeah, I mean, he comes over the top with the right hand from the jab. It was a shitty jab that Deontay Wilder thrown. And that was his fault. That was his fault. He turned away from it. Boom. That wasn't a rabid punch, man. You know, like, what do you want Fury to do? You want him to fucking pull that right hand back at the last second? Oh, he's turning to the side. I guess I won't hit him. Come on, man. Like, dude, he shot that right hand. He didn't anticipate that Wilder was going to fully turn to the side and expose the side of his head and the back of his head. I mean, he can't control that. That's Wilder's fault for having shitty technique. Furthermore, grappling with Deontay Wilder, making him carry all that fucking weight. Like I said, he might as well be squatting 300 pounds at this point. And if we look at Deontay Wilder's legs, he looks like Bambi. He got Bambi legs. You know, this is what happens when you fight a bigger fighter who can box and who's putting relentless pressure on you. It's not voodoo, man. It's like, duh, this is what happens. You surprised you got your ass whooped? And, you know, jab to the body, but it's meaningless. No substance behind that. And look at Tyson Fury, his slick motherfucker, grinning back to the corner. That was a purposeful trip, but that's what great fighters do. All great slick fighters do. They have their little dirty tactics, and I don't mean dirt. Ooh, beautiful hooks to the body, left hook to the body, right hook to the body by Tyson Fury. Ooh, another right hook to the body, devastating. You can tell that freaking took all the air out of Deontay Wilder. But, you know, all great boxers have their little slick tactics. Bernard Hopkins, Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, you know, they all have their little tactics. Hell, even Evander Holyfield against Mike Tyson when he was fucking banging his head up against him constantly. You know, that's what all slick, sly boxers do. And that was Tyson Fury intentionally tripped Deontay Wilder, caught his lead leg with his rear, and, you know, knowing that he was going to have to get up off the canvas and bring that 215-pound frame up off the canvas and, you know, get back into the fight. Very exhausting, but very slick by Tyson Fury. You know, just completely ragdolling him. It was just a beautiful game plan, and to execute it. Look at him doing a little wrestling in there. Like I said, you guys, it's a fucking fight at the end of the day. You know, if you from the hood, like you say you are, Wilder, you know, this is some hood shit that Fury's doing, bro. He's fighting. This is what Fury is. He's a fighter. He was born into a fighting family. You know, he was a fucking gypsy, bro. That's what he is. Punishing Wilder on the ropes. Furthermore, wrestling with him, ragdolling him, tossing him where he wants to, being the bigger man. Once again, gets away from the right hand, fences with the lead hand, and kind of rolls with it. You know, I think Fury is pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world today, and maybe even able to make an argument he's one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. I'm sorry, you guys, you look at the tactics and the skills and the ability to change up his style completely from the first fight to the second fight against a devastating puncher like Deontay Wilder. It's fucking phenomenal, man. You know, like I said, this dude's throwing feints, consistently throwing jabs to the body, can move his head excellently. And look at that trip by Tyson Fury. And, you know, Deontay Wilder wouldn't have got tripped if he was in, you know, if he had good fundamentals and technique. He wouldn't have even been in that position to begin with. But a wily old veteran like Fury, he's gonna get you in any way he can. He's gonna make you work. He's the fucking gypsy king. Look, my mother's from Romania, bro. Those gypsies, they're slick, man. They're fucking slick. Beautiful right hand by Tyson Fury. Once again, Deontay Wilder doesn't know what to do when he gets his back to the ropes or stuck in a corner. He doesn't have any way to get out. He doesn't L-step. The only thing he really does is not even really pivot with good timing. He just kind of moves out to the left. He doesn't clinch. He doesn't feint. You know, he doesn't set up a suppressive fire to get some real estate back. He just kind of either lays there or he desperately throws punches and missing them, making him more tired. Or he just slowly moves out to his left and he doesn't even know he's lining himself up with Fury's right hand. And I'll say that Fury could cut off the ring in this third fight a little bit more because I noticed that he doesn't always cut off the ring completely in this second fight. But that may be by choice. He may be trying to walk Wilder into right hand, so he's kind of like right now. See, look at all the space Wilder has to the left. But Wilder may be doing that intentionally to walk him into the right hand. And that was beautiful by Tyson Fury. I think it was a left hook to the body. He does a little shift to the southpaw stance to close the distance and then follows back up to the orthodox stance, throws a hook to the body, and just bulldozes over Deontay Wilder. That wasn't even like a perfectly placed hook to the body to where it hits you at a pressure point, right? Like one of the vital organs. It was just sheer fucking power and Deontay Wilder being absolutely exhausted and getting bullied. And fucking look at Tyson Fury just dogging him out. Dogging him out. Bro, you're supposed to be the bronze bomber. You're supposed to be the fucking hood dude from fucking Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where the fuck he comes from, and you getting dogged out right now, straight up. But, you know, this is why you can't rely on talent and athletic ability in this game, because you will run into a motherfucker like this. And not only is he a technical genius, he's a fighter. Tyson Fury's a fucking fighting man. He's a fighting man. So you have the best of both worlds with him. You have no technique, and you going up against a dude like this? Good night. And I don't want to hear all this shit about, you know, something in his glove or all the cushioning taken out of his glove. That's bullshit, bro. First of all, if there's some sort of metal ball in his glove or something like that, whatever they're saying, he would have knocked Deontay Wilder the fuck out by now. Same thing if he didn't have any cushioning in his glove. You know, I don't know what y'all looking at. I don't know who's editing photos online of the fucking gloves of Tyson Fury, but just stop. Oh, Deontay Wilder trapped in a corner, doesn't know what to do, doesn't know how to maneuver out, and he's drowning. Look at him. It literally looks like he's drowning. flailing his arms. He doesn't know what to do, man. Mm-mm. Yeah, I mean, dude, you can sit there and make all the excuses in the world for this dude. He got outboxed, point blank, period. It is what it is. Deal with it. He has another opportunity coming up. Maybe, who is it, Malik Scott? Maybe he's drastically changed something. Maybe he's going to show us what he can really do. And that's not an indentation, you guys. That's a contusion. That's a fucking contusion. That's just blood fucking coming up to the surface. And if there was an indentation, it's not of the skull. It's from the blood from the contusion. And it's just from the cut man doing his work. Look at that left hook to the body. Fury steps into it, shifts into that stance. Nice lead left hook. Oh, throws that left hook from the southpaw stance. That's a beautiful Fitzsimmons shift. This is subtle shit, man. This is what I'm saying. If you could edit Deontay Wilder out of this fight and just see the way Tyson Fury moves and the techniques he utilizes, you can see how fucking amazing he is as a boxer. Oh, he's feinting. Oh, shit, he's throwing a jab up his downstairs. Oh, shit, he's moving his head. Oh, shit, he has great footwork. Oh, he's cutting off the ring. And that's how you know. And if you were to cut Tyson Fury out of the picture and just watch Deontay Wilder moving around the ring, you would see, well, this guy looks like a deer in headlights. He looks like Bambi on ice. What is he doing? There's nothing to what he's doing. There's no substance behind it. He's not setting anything up. Nice right hook to the body by Tyson Fury. There's nothing there. And you guys are confused. You're astonished that he lost. I mean, of course he lost, you guys. And a lot of people were saying it beforehand. This dude doesn't have boxing skills. And once he runs into somebody who does, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. I don't buy into this thing that Tyson Fury's ducking Deontay Wilder. He fought him 2 times, and the second time he bulldozed him. What the fuck is he running from? I don't see him running from anything. I don't see him running from anything, you guys. Look at him fighting on the inside. Look how dynamic he is as a fucking heavyweight. 6'7" heavyweight at 300 pounds. Fighting on the inside. Getting great uppercuts in. Nice little dirty boxing. Wilder stuck in the corner, doesn't know what to do. I mean, clinches as best, can't even clinch well. Obviously, he's absolutely tired. He's winded. He wasn't tired from that fucking suit. He's the one saying he's been training in a 20-pound suit throughout camp. All of a sudden, the suit that you walked in the ring with bothered you? No, bro. This is called pressure fighting. That's the beauty of pressure fighting. It wears your opponent down. Especially when he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And we forget about this. He's 6'7", 300 pounds. He's significantly bigger. And then you also have to remember, I think Deontay Wilder came in heavier into this fight. I think he packed on some pounds, which didn't help him. I think this dude's a fucking savage. He's a fucking gypsy savage. But, when you put on weight, that doesn't necessarily it's going to make your punches more effective, more powerful. Sometimes it makes you slower. It makes you have to carry extra weight, which can affect your cardio and conditioning. I know when I pack on more pounds for sparring or fighting, I feel a lot more sluggish. I feel slower. And then, obviously when I shed weight, it depends how much weight I'm shedding. But, I'll feel a little bit more lighter and quicker. If you're Deontay Wilder, you've been fighting this whole time, your whole career. At the weight you have, you've been knocking motherfuckers out, 41 knockouts. Ooh, brutal work by Tyson Fury. Why are you changing it up? Why are you putting on more pounds? You were knocking motherfuckers out at what, 215, 220, 210? The fact that you're lighter and you got speed, Speed equals power, man. Speed gives you a lot of power. And you may have put yourself in a bad position by trying to come in this fight a little bit heavier. And then on top of that, you're having to do all these things you're not accustomed to, and you're getting worn down by this big dude. Don't let that fucking frame fool you, you guys. You saw it with Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua as well. Don't let it fucking fool you. This is about skill. This is about the sweet science. And, this is why I don't care about your race, your ethnicity, or whatever the case may be, your nationality. For me, I respect the motherfucker who's a master of their craft. And Tyson Fury's a master of his craft. Obviously, I will want to pull for Wilder, but, I appreciate fighters first for their IQ within the sport. But he'll get a chance. He's going to get his chance. There's not going to be any excuses his third time if it goes down. And this could be the end. This fight could have been the beginning of the end for Deontay Wilder. And if he gets pummeled this third fight, it's not going to be good for him. It's probably going to be over. I mean, could he take a fight with like Anthony Joshua or some shit, or Andy Ruiz? Yeah, but I think he'll be completely demoralized. Some fighters just never recover after a fight, and this might be the fight that fucking destroyed Deontay Wilder. And this is right here, the end of the fight. And you know what? He should have thanked Mark Breland for saving his life, because Wilder had no chance of winning this fight, not even landing a big right hand. He had nothing left in the gas tank to do that, and it would have got significantly worse if the fight went on. This is when fighters die. This is when fighters, get permanent brain damage, when they're fighting and they're absolutely exhausted and they keep on getting hit to the head repetitively. Instead of fucking shitting on your damn trainer that helped you get to the top, how about you fucking be a man, own up, you lost. If you want to part ways and try something different, that's fine, man. Nobody has anything against that. But the shit on your trainer that you've been doing this with for a long time, saying he was tainting your drink or he screwed you over by throwing in the towel, dude, that motherfucker saved your life. Or he saved years off your life. Maybe even saved you from real bad brain damage. If you don't have brain damage from this fight already. He took a beating. And sometimes when you get beat like this, you're never the same. And that might be the case here. He may never recover from this. And I'm sorry, you guys. I look at the fucking facts. I look at the math. I look at, for what it is in terms of skill set and technique. And Deontay Wilder got the shit kicked out of him because he's not a good boxer in terms of form and technique and fundamentals and style. He's just a big puncher. And I know that hurts a lot of Wilder fans, especially with this whole race narrative going on, and they see him as like this kind of black king. But it is what it is, you guys. Like I said, I appreciate a fighter first for their abilities. Being students of the game. That's what gets my attention and respect. And I liked Wilder before this, but I lost a lot of respect for him, man. I lost a lot of respect for him after this fight. He needed to take a page out of Anthony Joshua's book. Man up, own up. You lost. Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz, pudgy dude, that caught him off guard. And he owned up. He said, I fucked up. Got back to the drawing board, fixed the mistake, and won. And that's what Wilder needed to do. Instead, he wanted to point fingers. He wanted to blame everybody. He even brought in fucking gypsy voodoo, thinking that had anything to do with the fight, and it had nothing to do with the fight, bro. You just don't understand why you got your ass whooped. That's how much knowledge he lacks of the game. When you don't understand something and when you're ignorant, you tend to come up with mystical explanations for things. And Deontay Wilder didn't understand why he got his ass whooped, because he doesn't study the game. He's not a student of the game. And hopefully that changes with Malik Scott. Hopefully he's learning that. I don't know why it took him so long to realize this. This is why you don't just rely on your athletic ability or your talent, your God-given talent. And, if there was fucking gloves tainted, dude, he would have got knocked out cold right there. And you see, Tyson Fury keeps an open palm because he's either trying to control you right there like he did, controlling you, or he's trying to flick his jab. Muhammad Ali did the same fucking thing, you guys. Mayweather does the same thing. Well, he'll have an open palm. He'll try to control your head. Maybe he'll turn you, or maybe he'll come down with the right hand. And, Muhammad Ali used to do that all the time. He used to throw that flicking jab at you with an open palm. He whips it. He used to whip that jab, whip it at you. And if you ever boxed before, you sparred or whatever the case may be, like I have a trainer who utilizes that type of jab. There's different variation of jabs. That's what y'all don't understand. And one of the jabs my trainer who I used to train with used to flick his jab out with an open palm. And it was a motherfucker because it's almost like you're getting leather whipped into your eye, right? And it's a very quick jab. It's very fast. It's not meant to do like devastating damage like a triple G jab, right? But it's a different variation of the jab used for a certain purpose. And Tyson Fury loves to whip his jab, especially, in his past fights. You see him whipping that jab all the time. Same technique that Muhammad Ali used to use while he was fighting. And it's a motherfucker because, like I said, the leather will sometimes almost whip into your eye. And it'll start watering up your eyes and you start tearing up. Now you're fighting a little bit blind for a moment and it stings. It sucks, but it's a good technique. And, it's also just used to probe. Tyson Fury likes to probe with that lead hand, keep an open palm, just kind of touch you up. You don't expend much energy doing it. And it's a little bit more faster than throwing a jab through, the traditional way. It's just a different variation. That's all it is. And I don't know why you guys are acting all butthurt about it. This is boxing. This is what this dude's a master at. He understands all the aspects of boxing, and he showed it in this fight and throughout his career. But comment down below, like the video, subscribe, you guys. I'm sorry to you Wilder fans to break it to you. He got his ass whooped, point blank period. He got outboxed, he got outmanned, he got outgunned. If you want to talk shit, bring it on. I'm here. This is what we're here for. So like I said, like the video, subscribe, comment down below. I'll have more coming out soon. And I also want to talk about some subjects within this upcoming fight for Fury versus Wilder 3. This is going to be a fun one, man. Nonetheless, it's going to be a fun one. I think it's going to be roughly the same result, but it's going to be fun to watch. All right, stay safe this weekend, you guys. Peace.